Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me again here on GME Admin Insights. I'm your host, Natasha Brox, and today I want to talk about negotiation. So, when I think about negotiation, I always just think about, okay, I got to talk to them about, a job offer. Let's negotiate this pay, right? But as I have grown and been in certain situations, and within this GME leadership, field, negotiation is so much more than that when you think about it. Negotiation, it's essential. It's an essential skill that transcends beyond just pay raise or, job offers. It can like elevate anyone, especially the Jimmy community. It can elevate you in your role and contribute to the success of your program when you think about talking with your CFO or your COO about your program and the needs. You have to have that negotiation skill, right? So, understanding this art of negotiation, it really does empower you to navigate through just the complex landscape of medical education that we are in. It helps you to efficiently do this, right? So let's get into it. Let's get into the negotiation. So, like I said before, I thought negotiation was just about, let's have this conversation about, I want this job, let's negotiate, right? Okay, I want more money, let's negotiate. So it is still that. It is still having that hard talk conversation about salary or a job offer. If they come to you, okay, let me negotiate my pay. I know my worth. I know my skills. I know what you're asking for. I can do that plus more. So I think my salary should be this, right? It's that strategic dialogue that helps you like reach where you're going or where you want to go, as far as the payment is concerned. There is a beneficial agreement between both parties, as you will say. So negotiation, it's that skill that the GME community needs to have, right? Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that communicate with a lot of different people, different stakeholders, different faculty, residents, administrators, directors. We communicate with them all the time. So we have to be very fluent in the technique and the skill of negotiation because we may want something for our program. We may need a PO signed by the CEO for equipment we need. Faculty, your PD, APD, they're not always going to be around. And sometimes they don't know the ACGME logistics language I'll say that, to speak, right? So you have to be the mouthpiece to negotiate what you need for your program, and for you too. This is critical. I always talk about how we are leaders, and as the leader, and when you continue to grow, you have to collaborate with others. I just talked about this on my last podcast or two, but how you collaborate, right? When you collaborate and you're building this team, you negotiation it fosters collaboration or allowing us to build strong teams, right? So we have by aligning diverse interests or goals with others. We may have coordinators that um, we may not really know, or we don't know their interests, we don't know their goals, so we have to collaborate with them in our program, with their program. You're in IM, I'm in EM. You need to come some on our rotations and vice versa. So how do we collaborate? How do I negotiate with you to get my residents what they need, right? So you just can't be like, nope, sorry, not going to happen, sorry. No, you have to negotiate. Negotiation is a collaboration, okay? It's a collaboration at the end of the day. So you want something, I want something. Just think of it like if you have a job offer, you want me to work for you, I want to work for you, but for this amount of money, right? That's that collaboration concept. So when you look at that with other program coordinators that you may work with, your director, stakeholders like your CEO, like anyone in the C suite, you have to know how to negotiate what you need for yourself or the program. This is beneficial. It's a crucial skill to have as a leader in the GME community, right? We have to reallocate our sources. We have these resources and we allocate them, right? So we have to be efficient in allocating the resources, right? Whether it's budget, we know how it is when it's budget time. We need certain things, right? Or if we need more personnel, do we need more staff members, right? We need this negotiation skill to secure the necessary resources for our program. So when you think about like, okay, here's my budget, this is what I need, this is why I need it, this is how it would help, the program, you need to be able to negotiate whether it's more money, hundreds of thousands of more money, or just the resources needed, the butterflies, the ultrasounds, the books, the orientation devices that you may need, just kits and just everything that you may need, or not just for them. It may be, okay, so we need more money in the budget because we have 21 residents and they're coming in early, 7 o'clock in the morning, so they're getting there about 6:30. It would be nice to have breakfast for them, right? So they can come and just start their day and start lectures and, at the didactics. So you need to be able to, negotiate and communicate how you want your resources, why you need these resources, for what, how's it a benefit, right? Which takes me into the problem resolution of things. There is no other way to fall flat on your face than to go to someone. Let's just say it is your CFO. Go to your CFO with an issue, but you don't have a solution. I need $100,000 for butterflies. Why? I don't know. What does that look like? Of course, you're going to get denied, right? Of course, you're going to get denied. You need the skill and the art of negotiating to get what you need for you and your program, right? That's just it. It comes back to a collaboration. So why not go with a solution? Find the solution first. You have a problem. The problem is you need more butterflies. They're going to cost $100,000. So I need $100,000 for butterflies. Here's why. Here's the solution I have. Why do you need them? Because we have X amount of residents. We only have 2 butterflies in the ED. The teaching is not efficient. So in order to teach them so they can learn on an every rotation day basis, this is what we need. It helps their learning. It helps them in the long run, not only know what they're doing, hopefully pass the board, but it looks good for the ED. So they know, you know what, I'm going to stay here and work. You always want to keep your residents, right? It just looks good. And then they know you've trained them. So you know they're good doctors. So, and finding the solution. How? Okay, well, I vetted these companies. These are the discounts that they're willing to give if we buy so many, and we need so many. And I've listed them in the order of, maybe the cheapest to the most expensive, or the benefits. Here are the benefits of each of them. make a decision. So the CFO is not like trying to figure out why. It's everything is laid out for her. You've just negotiated with your CFO your problem, what you need, why you need it, and here's the solution, right? How do you think that CFO is going to look at you? You've maintained a positive working environment with the CFO. So does that not look like a benefit for you? Of course. Because that CFO is going to be like, okay, well, Natasha, see, she had a problem. She gave me the solution. Let's work on her. Positive working environment. Instead of, I need $100,000 for, our butterflies in the ED for all of our residents. Boom. Well, why? Because we need them. Why? Because we need them. For what? So what are you looking at? What butterfly? I mean, of course they don't know what we need and what type and all of this. So don't you see the tension that may have been caused between you and the CFO? She's not one. Of course, she's going to deny it. You're not bringing her any substantial information for her to even consider it. So when that happens, you start to create tension. You no longer have a positive working environment. Now you may have more of a little friction, right? So even though that situation may be over, that friction may not be. So you always want to have a resolution to your problem, always. And that's on anything you bring to the table with anyone. And it doesn't just have to be negotiations, that's with anything, but it is crucial to have these negotiating skills. And like I said, I thought negotiation was, I need to get paid, right? But it's so much more than that. It goes beyond salary talk. It goes beyond that. I never knew how much negotiating I would have to do, but it's true. You start with negotiating your salary. You start there. And then it goes to other facets of negotiation, like, I need this extra money in our budget, or, this is what we can't do that, but we can do this, or agreements. I don't know about you, but like sometimes we have to get vendors. We have to, get all the information. We may have to get 3, vet them out, send them over to our vending contracting group to, after that, hopefully come up with an agreement with that vendor. But I like to make sure I can get the best money for our program. I can get the best deal. I can get the best outcome. Okay, if you can't bend on the price, can we throw something in? Because for this, I want more for our residents or the program. So all goes back to negotiation, right? So like I said, it goes beyond salary, and now it's, contracts, right? Or even the program development, right? Or your development. So like if you convincing a stakeholder like the CEO, the CFO, the CFO to support you. It could be with a new endeavor. It could be an old endeavor. It could be updating something. It could be updating something educational for your program or for you. How are you going to convince them? That's a skill in negotiation. How are you going to convince your COO? Okay, you're building this new hospital for us. In that hospital, I want a room. Well, no, I need a room. ACGME requirement states that every rotation site we have needs to have a lactation room with a chair and a refrigerator, a designated refrigerator for milk only, no food. All these little things, right? You just can't say, oh, you're building a new hospital. Our residents will be rotating over there. Don't forget, they need their own lactation room. Because if that happens, which it has happened, you have a room and it has different, it's a room for anything. It's a free for all room. And the refrigerator has food in it. No, we are breaking this ACGME requirement. We can get cited for that. So when you go in with your negotiation, even if it's for that room, you need to come, of course, with a plan. This is what I need. This is why I need it. This is the ACGME requirement. We won't have an institution citation. This is how much it will cost. We need and these are the specific items we need in it. So you've come with your whole plan and your solution to the problem. And you've let them know exactly what is needed. Okay, a good working environment after that. So negotiation is key. It's an essential skill that we need, right? And if you've never looked at it in that way, and you're like, wow, I've never thought about it like that. See how it all collapsed together. It's like a circle. This is what you need. This is why you need it. This is how it affects you. And this is like, you can go on and on with negotiation. When I really sat back and realized how it wasn't just about money, I negotiate a lot of things in my program. So it's beneficial. It's a skill, right? A great skill. If you don't know how to negotiate, if you don't know like how to break it down, start, right? Do little negotiation trainings or, just enact it out. Get a fake example of what you may need or a real example. This is what I need. Now, how would I, pitch this to the CFO to put in our budget? Or how would I pitch this to our CEO? Or how would I pitch this to my director? I want this, so let me talk to my director about it. And what am I going to say? But you need to build, if you don't have them already, you need to build negotiation skills. It's essential. And even with our time management, we have to negotiate realistic timelines. I mean, we all know we have those ups and downs, those busy times of year, right? Where our timeline is crazy, but negotiating realistic timeline and workload for yourself or even for your team is critical. You don't want to keep getting work dumped on you. When your workload, it begins to grow, now you're stressed and you're overworked and you're burned out. You don't want to do that. So negotiate a realistic timeline for yourself. Negotiate a realistic workload. If you cannot take any more on and you have to say no with no, and here's the reasons why I can't. And then list them out. But this is what we can do. This is what I can do. Come back with a solution, right? That is the key to negotiation. Here's the thing. When you put it in the perspective of when you do get a job offer and they give you a salary and you're like, no, I want this salary. And then they go back, sometimes they don't, most of the time they just don't say no and they leave it, right? But they go back and they try to find another solution to bring back to you. Same thing, when you put it in that mind frame. So this is what I need. This is my timeline. I can't do this workload, but here's what I can. Let me come back to you. This is what I can do. So it becomes a win-win for everyone. You're not stressed. You're not overworked. You don't get burnt out, or your team doesn't get burnt out. You don't want to overload your team. If you are in a management role, a director role, and you know that you maybe have to add more work to them, okay, sit down with them, talk to them, see what's going on first, see if it's realistic to even do that. Someone's timeline and workload may be lighter than others. But just because one person may be able to get that done, is super quick at it, that's what she likes to do. If she can't handle the workload, don't add it to her plate anyway, or their plate anyway. You don't want to do that. So even if it's for yourself, you know, that negotiation and time management is crucial in the long run. So we can always, as GME administrators, we can always leverage this negotiation. But how? Like I said, we have to understand like our stakeholders. When I say stakeholders, that's our CEO, that's our, faculty sometimes, but that's anybody in the C-suite, that's somebody in another hospital, that maybe their residents or medical students are rotating with us. But we have to understand their needs first. Once we understand their needs, we can begin a successful negotiation because now we know what they need, we know what we need or want or have, and we can build off of that, right? So, but we have to understand the needs first. And sometimes even the motivation on their part that's involved behind their needs. So we can either make it or break it, right? So we want to understand the needs and the benefits and then go from there. Like I said before, us being the GME, the administrators, the coordinators who handle the work. We communicate with people all the time for our program. When we understand the needs of others, and if we are able to help, we communicate with them all the time. We can negotiate better for our program most times than our faculty, especially when they're busy doing what they need to do in the healthcare setting, right? So we are the ones that communicate a lot more with all the stakeholders, all the, entities, hospitals, everyone. They come to us first. So um, we have to have effective communication, clear and concise communication. That is key, right? If nothing else, clear and concise communication. That is like the number one skill in negotiation. That's the number one thing for a program coordinator, administrative off top, because that's what we do. We talk all the time. We communicate with everybody, right? So we should know how to be articulate, a good listener, adapt to the change or communication style because everyone is different. You know, everyone may have, their ethnicity, language, um, Spanish speaking, trying to speak English. You really want to listen if they have an accent. Someone coming from the South may have a different accent than someone coming from the North. So being a active listener and really try to adapt the communication style that you hear into your own so that way you can communicate effectively back with them once you understand their needs. It's crucial, right? So you can then perform your negotiation when you really understand what they're saying. And you want to build a relationship off of that. You want to cultivate a positive relationship with them. You want to build trust. You want to make it easier for the negotiations to happen. You want to make it easy to navigate through the negotiations, right? Not hinder them, not stop it, right? You don't want to do that. That is not a good skill in negotiation. You don't want the doors to close on you. You don't want that. You invest your time, you invest your skills. You may even have to research things, right? So you do not want that negotiation to stop. You want to build a positive relationship with whoever you are about to sit at the table and negotiate with, or even pick up the phone and negotiate with. You want to cultivate a positive relationship that builds trust and make it easy to navigate negotiation. Key. Because if you ever have to go to someone asking for something and you don't have a good relationship with them, whoa, that is a hard negotiation because even though it's not right and you want to believe people do not do it, you ever had to sit at the table with someone that you didn't like and they didn't like you, but you had to negotiate something for your program, you're like, oh God, I know this girl don't like me, right? So it just makes negotiation a lot easier when you build those relationships with people to navigate those negotiations. When you have a good working relationship, it makes negotiation so much more easier. And, you know, even if you have some back and forth, some little tips, and it gets kind of stressful, still having, because it is a good working relationship, no one is taking it in a spiteful way, right? Because my thing is, I know you have to do what you have to do, but I know I need what I need for my program, right? So you just have to think about that. You never want to not have, in general, not have a good relationship with anybody that you work with, right? Alongside of, or anybody in administration, the C suite, anywhere. You don't want to not have a good relationship with anyone. You want those good relationships because you never know when you have to sit down at the table with them and ask them for something. That is like, I mean, toe curling, gut clenching, that you would have to do. Like, oh my God, I know she don't like me. I got to go ask for some money. Uh, so we don't want to do that. Good relationship all the time with anybody, and we don't have to worry about it when we have to go and negotiate with them, right? Right. And also, like I said, being solution oriented. Don't just come with, oh, I need to negotiate this. You don't want to approach the negotiations with a mindset focus on you want to have that, you want to find the situation, the solution, right? Rather than just getting your way. You want to, this is what I need, make it happen. No, like I said, collaboration is key. So when you collaborate and problem solve, right? What you need, why you need it, this is the solution that I'm coming with. Maybe they can not use that solution, but they can piggyback off of the solution. And, we can't do that. But within that, we could take like item number 3 out and work on that to get you what you need. So if you come with a solution, it's a lot better. And then they see that, oh, you've done most of the legwork. You really need this, where you thought about it, you researched it, and you're bringing it to the table. So that says a lot right there. So being solution oriented in your negotiations, is key as well. Just like you would research and bring a solution when they come back with a lower salary than what you thought, you're gonna go back to the table and be like, no. So I wanted this because of this, this, and this. The same thing. You have a solution to the salary that you want to stick to, even when they come lower, so you want them to come higher. You come with that solution on why you need that higher salary, why you're worth that higher salary, the skills that you have, right? The degrees that you may possess, the experience that you may, possess. So you're coming back with a solution to, this is why I want a higher salary. Look at it in the same way of when you negotiate things for your program, for your faculty, for you, that, you just come with not just the problem, but here's the solution too, and then everything in between. Makes for a great negotiation, because then they may not be thinking about your point. They may just be thinking of why. Oh, well, here's the reasons why. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And they're like, oh, well, I knew about A, C, G, but all the other stuff, I didn't think about that. So you know what? Yeah, let me ponder over that. But you made a good point. See, that's the results that we want, right? Negotiation is a multifaceted skill. And like I said before, it extends beyond salary discussion. So no longer look at negotiation as salary anything. When you master this art, it equips you, right, to navigate through any of the complexities, that we will face in the GME community, right? And then you're fostering collaboration with all of your stakeholders you have to deal with, and you're resolving any challenges that you may have or they may have on trying to get you what you want, right? But at the end of it, you're achieving your success, which is getting what you want, right? So this is an essential skill to have, to learn if you don't know, to start learning, diving into it and practicing, and practice different ways on how you can get what you need, right? The negotiating skills, right? So, thank you for joining me today. That's all my little tidbit on negotiating that I have, but I will wish you a successful negotiation and excellent time negotiating when you do. I hope that this will help you when you do have to negotiate. You will be successful in doing so. But practice is key. And if you don't know, reach out to somebody who you know negotiates um, daily or on your behalf, and sit and talk with them. But, I'm wishing you a happy, successful negotiation when the time comes for you to negotiate. Okay? So until then, I will see you next time.